What is up, AG Nation? I'm Ben and welcome to my top 10 of the best gacha games with graphics that will blow your mind, your phone, or both. Most of the games are playable worldwide right now, with a couple that should be on your watch list. And of course, and as always, this is my own personal ranking and I'll be happy to hear your picks down in the comments. Now, and without any further ado, let's do this! Number 10. Black Clover Mobile. While Black Clover Mobile is not yet available to the rest of us in the West, the game will most likely catch the world by storm once it launches globally. The mobile adaptation of the popular anime features some gorgeous graphics with fully 3D animated characters, and from what it seems like from the teaser's release, an open world that is as colorful as it is stunning. The combat looks to be turn-based, and I know that it isn't really the popular choice these days, but it can still be decent if it's well done. And I'm thinking here of 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross battle system. Black Clover Mobile is set for a release for 2022, and while we don't have a confirmed release date yet, I have my fingers crossed for the sooner the better. Number 9. Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. I know I talked about Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds in a recent video, but the choice when it comes to high graphics gacha games is limited, and it's even narrower once you throw in the open world criteria. And despite the performance issues and greedy monetization scheme, I can't help but be mesmerized by the world in Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. Pun intended. The presentation is on point, and the Studio Ghibli art direction and audio design definitely elevate the game, and it gives it that magic that we've come to expect from the Japanese studio. So if you have the chance to play the Ni no Kuni games on console, then by all means, but if not, this is a great introduction, at least audio-visually speaking. Number 8. Honkai Star Rail. Hoyoverse fans in general and Honkai Impact 3rd players in specific, Honkai Star Rail is one to add to your watch list. The upcoming gacha JRPG is the sequel to Impact 3rd and will, unlike its predecessor, feature turn-based combat and an open world to explore. Honkai Star Rail was revealed during the 3rd anniversary celebration of Honkai Impact 3rd, and a closed beta ran out earlier this year for iPhone players, followed by a cross-platform second one right before the summer. So we should hopefully be close to either a regional release or at the very least another closed beta soon. Number 7. Tower of Fantasy. Long known as the Genshin killer, Tower of Fantasy made a lot of noise before finally coming out after years of waiting. The developers were caught with their hands in the cookie jar, and more than once when fans spotted the use of Honkai Impact 3rd assets in a promo video and stealing App Store reviews of Genshin Impact. But that doesn't really change the fact that Tower of Fantasy is a gorgeous console quality looking game with a massive open world, in-depth character customization, and some fantastic battles. But what really drops it from competing for the top spots to me personally are the bugs at release. Yes, they're minor and thankfully not game breaking, but on the other hand, the game's been out for quite a while in the East, and the devs had plenty of time to patch and tweak the performance, so there is no excuse. Number 6. 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Moving on to the sequel to one of the best surprises we got in recent years, that is 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Here is the next one in line, 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Origins will feature a gorgeous open world in cel-shaded graphics, real-time combat to the joy of many, and a big focus on exploration as in climbing walls or diving in the water in search of treasure chests. And that's definitely something I felt Grand Cross was lacking. Origins will have you play as a new protagonist, and the game is set for release on PC, mobile and consoles, and yes, it will be cross-platform, but sadly we do not have a date release yet, but I can't help but be hyped for this one. Number 5. Punishing Grey Raven. For some reason, Punishing Grey Raven went under the radar soon after release, and I'm not really sure why. The combat is plenty smooth and polished compared to most action RPG gachas on mobile, and it's one of the friendliest F2P gacha you can play today. Punishing Grey Raven has also one heck of a soundtrack, so why isn't it getting the love it deserves? I have a couple of guesses. First, the story is dark and not for the faint of heart, but then again, Honkai Impact 3rd is also known for its darker, mature and gloomy theme. Next, the game can be challenging since you have to hit perfect dodges, play at a fast pace to execute your combos, and make use of your orb mechanics to take down bosses. And perhaps this is the main reason, as challenging games on mobile, and I'm thinking off the top of my head, Animus or Implosion, tend to not appeal to the masses, but I highly recommend giving Punishing Grey Raven a chance, you won't regret it. Number 4. NIER Reincarnation. One of the most anticipated games released in 2021 was NIER Reincarnation, and it is an absolutely gorgeous gacha RPG with an amazing musical score attached. The art direction in NIER Reincarnation flips from 3D to 2D, as in, you will explore short story segments in 2D, which are artfully presented this way since these tales take place in the past, then progressing through each stage and all battles are in 3D, and the visuals look top-notch on the game's highest graphical settings capped at 30 FPS. The world is beautiful and quite artistic, and it gave me vibes of Sky Children of the Light as well as Ico from the good old PS1 days. So while NIER Reincarnation does have the typical F2P systems found in most gacha games, it's also highly polished and is worth playing. Number 3. ZENLESS Zone Zero. HoYoverse seems to be on fire with yet another big release from the studio on the horizon, and this time it's ZENLESS Zone Zero. And while we don't have that much details about the game yet, we do know that the devs are adventuring into new territory, away from epic and sci-fi fantasy of their previous games and into urban fantasy this time. From what I can tell from the footage released, it seems like you take on the role of a proxy and the story involves a sub-hollow disaster in the district you're due to travel to. As for the gameplay, we currently don't have that much to go on, but the teaser hints to a fast-paced combat-heavy action adventure. There's a closed beta underway at the time I'm making this video, and I'll give you guys an update once we know more. Number 2. Honkai Impact 3rd. This was extremely difficult to decide between number 1 and 2, but at the end I had to put Honkai Impact 3rd in the second spot. And to anyone who hasn't played it, I'll tell you what I told a friend of mine when asked about it. Honkai Impact 3rd is a game that may take a bit of time to get into, as both the gameplay and the dialogues don't feel very polished at first. But the more time you invest into playing it, the more rewarding this game gets. Honkai features some impressive visuals, an addictive rock-paper-scissors combat system, and deeply engaging story, and thanks to the game being 3 years old now, there is a lot more PvE content and the game is much more F2P friendly than it was at launch, making it an easy recommendation. Number 1, and the game that even people who don't play mobile games have heard about it, that is Genshin Impact of course, which also might be the closest you will ever get to playing Zelda Breath of the Wild without playing Breath of the Wild. The game is visually stunning and it challenges you to explore a massive open world, battle through its puzzle-filled dungeons, and with its gacha mechanics, collect the game's various cast. Genshin also supports 4-player co-op, making it a great choice for playing with your friends. Yes, a high-end phone or tablet is necessary to enjoy its epic world, but it's no surprise how popular the game is, given how near console quality the graphics are and how big the open world is, where you can climb any mountain, swim in every river, and glide about the planet in every direction you see fit. The game is also constantly getting new updates with new characters, quests, and fun events. And that sums up my picks for the best gacha games with the best graphics. But now I wanna hear from you in the comments. What is your pick for the most beautiful gacha game on mobile? Clicking the like button does help me out a lot and I would really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing because I'll put out new videos like this every week. Also, a special thanks to my YouTube members, and if you want to support my content as well as get some cool rewards, links are down in the description. You can also show some love to this video with a super thanks. Once again, I'm Ben, thank you G Nation for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here on Android GameSpot. Stay epic!